Fine foods may not always have been on the menu for the famous Bronte sisters, whose literary achievements have turned Haworth and the surrounding area into a mecca for tourists from all over the world. Their simple lifestyle is captured forever in this area, which inspired some of the greatest novels in English literature, and the landscape has changed little since then. It's within this setting of these windswept moors that one family, and in particular one young boy, is keeping alive an old tradition. Phillip Melling is only 10 years old, yet already he possesses an extraordinary skill which could determine his future. While his friends are playing computer games or watching videos, young Phillip is out on the Yorkshire fells with Bracken the sheepdog, honing a craft which is as old as his favourite hills on the outskirts of Keighley. Phillip is one of a new generation of young shepherds who has been learning the age-old countryside skill since he was just 2 years old. He's already so accomplished that he gives demonstrations in around 20 local shows a year and has even appeared on BBC's Blue Peter.
Bracken, come here. Good girl.
Phillip has learned the skills of handling 3-year-old Bracken at the family farm, where his parents Albert and Carol have lived and worked since 1969.
Phillip developed a natural interest really as soon as he could walk. When we're working the sheep up out on the moors, we use a shepherd's whistle, and really not every adult can blow those whistles, but he learnt to blow that at 18 months old, and we have it on video as proof, which was quite an achievement. And really, as soon as Phillip could walk, he went into the show ring with us, and it just involved him letting the ducks out so we could do a demonstration. And then he got at about 3 years old when he found, because he could use a shepherd's whistle, if there was a certain dog that would work for him, it would do. And it just came so naturally, and it was so good to watch, you know, watching a little lad at 3 years old working a sheepdog. And now that he's getting older, he's started entering sheepdog trials with us, and he's been quite successful in that. Phillip is known as the youngest handler in Britain because he started at such a young age, and we've never seen anybody younger than himself, certainly at the moment, running at sheepdog trials. When you're working a dog close at quarters to you, we use what's called voice commands. The left is come by, the right is away to me, walk on to either drive your sheep away from you or bring them back towards you, and to lie down to either stop your dog or to correct it if it's doing anything wrong. When you go out upon the moors, obviously you can't be shouting and bawling at your dog because it doesn't sound very good, so we use the shepherd's whistles then. And when you're training your sheepdogs, once they get used to a certain command for the left or for the right, they know the voice command for that direction. You'll then put a whistle in as well, and over a period of time it will get to know that direction that whistle means. Well, it's like a marriage. You've got to gel together to make it work, definitely. You can have a dog that probably you're not getting on very well with. It's just how you get along together as a team, and many people have different ways of working sheepdogs. We don't all work in the same ways.
Steady. Lie down. Wait. Lie down. Lie down. Lie down. Bracken, that'll do. That'll do. Good girl. Good girl.
He hasn't got the easiest of dogs to run, but he's sticking with it because she's a great little dog. And I think as he gets older, he'll go far. Phillip just takes it all in his stride. He just goes along with it. He isn't one to get excited or rattled. He just takes it all in his stride as if it's just another day and it's just a normal way of life.
Well, like listening to the birds and stuff, like building walls and stuff. Like when you're inside, cooped up next to a fire and a TV, it's like boring really. When you're outside, it's fun really. I usually lamb sheep at lambing time, and like sometimes I help my dad milk, and that's it really. And like sometimes clip sheep and stuff like that. I sometimes watch TV, but not always, because I'm usually outside. I wouldn't like to be cooped up in an office working computers. I'd like to be out here.
Traditional shepherding goes back to medieval times when domestic livestock needed to be protected from predators, particularly wolves. Those simple techniques have now developed into general animal husbandry and training for country shows and competitions. It takes about 8 weeks to train a sheepdog. Albert demonstrates his handling skills by sending his dog Spike to round up these sheep ready for shearing.
My intention now is gathering those sheep up on the other side of the hill. I'll send the dog out to the left or the right, it depends which way sheep run, because there's about 50 sheep and lambs, so I just don't know where the dog will end up. Are we ready, dog? Luke, that'll do. Come in, that'll do. Way back, way back. Wait! Going over the bridge. Going very, very well, really, to say it's so hot and all them bracken. Back! Stand there! Back! Stand there! Stand there! Talking like come back means come back this way. It's a stiff grind up that big hill. You give it way here for right and come by for left. And that whistle, that's for right. And that's for left. And this is for lie down. I'm trying to put all the sheep together in one pile, but it's very hot for the dog and it's tired. But it's coming both left and it's right and it's got them all in a pile. Wait!
Spike is now nearly half a mile away, but still manages to listen and respond to Albert's commands and keep the sheep under perfect control.
Just trying to get them a bit closer together now in a bigger pile. Come by!
After rounding up the sheep, Spike heads back to Albert for a well-earned rest.
Good boy. Aren't you? Good boy.
You can't say that every day is the same in a shepherd's life, because you never know sometimes what you're going to do from day to day. A lot depends on the weather. You're working alongside nature. If it's April time, that is one of our busiest times, and your day begins roughly at about 5:30 and it can go on till midnight some nights. It's a very tiring day is lambing time. Philip's just 10. People who've seen him running have marvelled at the natural sheep sense that he has. He knows what sheep are going to do, and he can work out what his dog's going to do. And as he gets older and uses all that experience that he has under his belt from the age of 3 years old, I think he'll be quite a tough contender when he gets into his teens.